But he's got to do something here, Tyson Fury. He's got to change things around, because otherwise Usyk showed he's got the skill and also the power, and that's worrying if you're in the Fury camp.
Pro boxing fans here in London with Adam Smith. Adam, we come to Mayfair for a big announcement for GBM, for yourselves. First of all, how are you? How's things?
Very good, thank you. Very good indeed. Sort of recovered from a great week out in Saudi for the 5v5. I was with Savannah Marshall at the weekend as she transformed into an MMA fighter, and a pretty good one. So that was great to see. Spent a lot of time with Clarissa Shields as well. So yeah, had a fantastic few days in Newcastle, and then back with a big announcement today for GBM. It's a very exciting day. I've only been there a few months with the bright sort of newish company, I guess, but with Izzy and his wonderful team, and it's fantastic. We've had some great shows and some great times and eyeballs with TalkSport and the YouTube channel, but this came along, and it's a really big moment, and very, very exciting to be working with the biggest, global boxing platform in DAZN. I've known DAZN for a long time, obviously with my Sky days and what happened with Eddie, and we sort of worked in conjunction with DAZN for many years when Eddie did the deal in America, and then he left us, didn't he? And went to DAZN, and we were all disappointed at the time and rebuilt and went with Ben Shalom, and now someone who's been at Sky Sports for nearly 30 years finds himself well and truly on DAZN, and it's a new challenge. It's exciting times, and the most important thing is GBM have got a platform now where we can really showcase what we're all about, and I think it's a great time for us. We're learning. We're nowhere near the levels of a Matchroom or a Queensberry, but step by step we're becoming an improving and hopefully soon a very powerful promotional company for UK boxing, and also around the world. DAZN have got territories everywhere, so we're looking into France and Spain and Germany and Japan and other places that we can maybe put shows on to help DAZN out. It's going to be a great partnership, I think. I like the DAZN execs very much, and they believe that they've got a great promotional company joining with GBM. They want it to succeed massively. We've got a multi-fight deal, so it's up to us now to perform, to use that partnership and work together in the best possible way, which I believe we will. I think we'll be a great fit for each other. DAZN obviously want to be and are seen as the home of boxing and of combat sports, but I think they want to go further and really make their mark, and I think bringing GBM on is a big day for them, not just for us, and it's a window of opportunity, isn't it? And that's all we can ask for. We've got the deal done, and now it's up to us to deliver. So June the 29th we kick off with DAZN, and then we're going to have a little reset in the summer and make sure that we are absolutely ready for a fantastic autumn, winter and 2025 ahead. We've got some major plans, and with the support of DAZN and the new levels of people we'll reach, and the opportunities that will come with that, it's really exciting for GBM, and particularly for Izzy and his team, and they're a great team.
I did want to actually ask the question, but you've actually answered it there. Whilst you've got this deal, how much is it on you guys to now make sure that you don't just sit there and bask in the glory, but you actually get the job done and get some big shows delivered?
The work starts now. The work started when I joined them. I said, right, you want to move towards the next level. We got TalkSport YouTube, which was fantastic for us, really great, and to have this chance of teaming up with DAZN, who have so many subscribers in so many countries and are a massive global operation. Yeah, it's different for me at Sky. It was all about the UK. It was all about being the biggest sports platform, which Sky undoubtedly are. Ben has that brilliant deal there, and I think we've got the best, the best one to go to DAZN. And I think, the work is just beginning. I think it's up to us. There is this, it's a chance. It's a multi-fight deal. So they believe in us and we believe in them. So it's it's an opportunity, I think, for both parties to get together and make sure that we produce compelling television. We give fighters a real opportunity now. The levels are higher, the stakes are higher, and I think that it's going to be very, very exciting for all the fighters that we've got on board already and that have joined us, that have believed in us. And I think there's going to be others, hopefully, that will want to get on that train too, because I think we're going places. I really do, and I believed that when I first met Izzy and the team, and I believe that even more today. It's a big day for GBM, but there's a huge amount of work to do, and we're ready to do it.
I do want to quickly talk about boxing before I do let you go. I do want to talk about Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. We spoke about this briefly in Saudi Arabia. There seems to be a few more legs on it, potentially a fight happening on September 21st. We spoke about, you gave me a little hint about the sparring. I spoke to Daniel 6 years ago about the sparring, and he said, listen, I caught him in some big shots. But from what you saw, did you expect Daniel to be the fighter that we see today? And did you expect Joshua to go on and become this big, multi-time heavyweight champion?
That's a really good question. I think looking back to it, probably not at the time. They were amateurs, and AJ obviously was much more experienced. Not as an amateur necessarily, but certainly in age and seasoning. And Danny was a kid. I mean, he turned pro so young. AJ had the Olympic experience, but yeah, they had some great dust-ups, and I'm really looking forward to them sharing a ring together in the pro ranks on September the 21st. I don't think all the I's are dotted yet, but I believe it will happen. I've been speaking to Don Charles, Freddie Cunningham people. I think that the wind is there for the fight to take place. It makes sense. It's a battle of Britain. It's a great opportunity for AJ back on home soil, and Daniel Dubois with an incredibly good win, wonderful win over Filip Hrgović. Took his lumps and bumps in the opening couple of rounds and executed a fantastic game plan, a bit like AJ has done under Ben Davison with Otto Wallin and Francis Ngannou. Both fighters sort of shrugged off criticism in a way. People thought AJ was flat after sort of the defeats to Usyk, and now he's got a real a wind of change, hasn't he? He's rejuvenated. He looks a very hungry and happy fighter again, and he's enjoying it. And I think him and Ben, and coming up against Daniel and Don, would be a perfect storm at Wembley. I think it's a good one for the Saudis to come over and have a battle of Britain, get a huge audience at our national stadium, and AJ would start a sizable favourite, I'd imagine, but you wouldn't write off Daniel Dubois after what he's just done to Filip Hrgović. He believes in himself now. I think that's the most important thing with Daniel. I think people have criticised him a lot over what's happened in his career. But as Frank's rightly said, enough talking about his heart and his guts. Look what he did with Jarrell Baby Miller. Look what he did with Filip Hrgović, even against Alexander Usyk. And I think that Daniel Dubois is a young fighter. And he's got every chance of pulling off an upset on September the 21st. I think AJ is, as I said, a likely winner, and it sets up obviously the Fury fight. Should Fury come through or not even come through against Usyk, everyone wants to see AJ Fury, but Daniel could put a big spanner in the works, and he's definitely earned his opportunity, his chance, very much so. And you'd be a fool to write him off after what I saw in the sparring all those years ago. I think it's a great fight. It'll tell us a lot more about both fighters and where they are, and most importantly, it's a great one for the fans. It's a great one for Britain, isn't it? And back home.
I do want to just talk about Tyson Fury there. Your good old mate Johnny Nelson saying maybe he doesn't have the appetite for the rematch. Maybe we don't see him again. Do you feel like from what you saw the other day, a couple of weeks ago in Saudi Arabia, that we get to see Tyson Fury back, and he's very much his best? There is certain questions about Tyson, but from what we saw, he wasn't out of the fight at all. But do you feel like he is going to be back and back with a bang?
He's not my old mate. He's my best mate in boxing, Johnny Nelson, and Johnny's got his own opinions, of course. I thought Tyson, he performed well against Usyk. It was a fight where I believed Alexander Usyk won by 3 rounds, but Tyson won the middle rounds, and I think if he'd started better behind his jab and utilising his weapons, I think the result could have been closer, maybe even a Tyson win. But I thought Alexander Usyk was better on the night. I think he utilised that ring brilliantly at the beginning, and at the end he came on so strong. In the 9th round, obviously, he got a worthy undisputed heavyweight champion. Now we'll see what Tyson Fury's made of. I believe he's made of pretty strong stuff. I believe he'll want this rematch. I believe he'll want to exact revenge. I believe he'll knuckle down and do everything he can to win this fight. I don't think he's going to drift off. I don't think Alexander Usyk's going to drift off. I think the rematch happens on December the 21st. I like the fact it's a couple of months after we thought it would. Gives him a little bit more time. It was a hard fight first time around. Tyson's just got to go back to that drawing board, concentrate on what he needs to do to try and put it right. Can he, at this stage of his career, hard career, thinking of those 3 fights with Deontay Wilder. Alexander Usyk, though, no spring chicken, 37-2. But he's got to do something here, Tyson Fury. He's got to change things around, because otherwise Usyk showed he's got the skill and also the power, and that's worrying if you're in the Fury camp. But the good news in the Fury camp is you've got a guy like Tyson Fury who can rise to a challenge. You've got a guy like him who can motivate himself for a big moment like this. And you've also got a guy who's a lot bigger, and he's still got that huge reach and the huge jab and the body shots that can trouble. And we know in those 4 rounds that he had, totally dominant in the middle of the fight, that Fury can have his success. So it's a compelling rematch. It's a rematch that's got to happen. If AJ comes through on September 21st and Tyson Fury comes through or pushes Alexander Usyk close again, you're going to get Fury and AJ finally, surely in the first half of 2025. And that's ultimately still the fight that certainly the British fight fans want to see above all fights, above any other fight, to see who wins that fight. It looks like we'll never get AJ Wilder, but we don't want to miss out on AJ Fury. So Fury has to perform in this fight, which I believe he will. And let's see where we are. Does he win the titles back, and then there's a third one, or does AJ come in? What's great is that we're getting these big fights. We had the fight with Dubois and Hrgovic, and you think, okay, it will take a while to make an AJ Dubois fight, maybe a year or 2. We're having it within, 3 or 4 months. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's great.
Final one, Deontay Wilder. I just want to ask you, how much did them trilogy with Tyson Fury take out of him? And there's a question that I saw online, that was he overhyped in his career at the point where he fought Tyson, from what we see now, or was Tyson Fury the catalyst to his downfall?
Look, Deontay Wilder's brought electricity and excitement and jeopardy to boxing like no other heavyweight in recent years. I mean, you go back to Lewis and Tyson and Riddick Bowe and those sort of fighters. AJ has been the poster boy. Tyson Fury has been, a wonderful, unpredictable, skilled fighter who's had the ups and downs and has been a compelling story. But you're thinking of sheer, one-punch knockout power, going back to the likes of, I always say Ernie Shavers, because he was just a frightening puncher. I think that he's been amazing for the scene. Not technically the greatest, did win a bronze in the Olympics, so not bad. But he's been in some fantastic firefights, with Luis Ortiz and many others, and just his pure ability to ice fighters like that, and the silence at ringside when that happens. So I think he's hyped up himself. I think he's been a fantastic character, the Bronze Bomber. Lovely guy behind the scenes, and a real character that if he does call it a day, we're going to miss hugely. I think a fighter that Father Time catches up, whether it's the trilogy that was maybe the second fight with Tyson Fury was difficult, but he came back for the third, which was maybe even harder. You saw him, come back as well, and I think that was a difficult night, that very quick knockout win in New York as well, and going to hospital afterwards and the tears and the emotions of that. I think that was tricky, and then he had the difficult night with Parker, and then this one. I think it's just maybe it's a bit of Father Time. It didn't seem to be there. He was lighter. The legs weren't quite right. The timing was off. It was sad. It was sad to watch, and I like Deontay Wilder to call it a day. I'm not not telling any fighter to retire. That's my personal opinion because I love the guy. It's up to him and his training team. Alex Scott's a brilliant bloke and an expert in the game. And they'll make the right decision for Deontay. I think his mum's come out and said something. But if it is the last we see Deontay Wilder in the ring, he's been unbelievable for the sport. And what he will be is unbelievably inspirational to the young because of what he's had to go through with his daughter and get what he gives back to the kids. I think he'll be fantastic. And that's what I'd like to see Deontay do. He's made a lot of money. He's been brilliantly guided by Shelley Finkel. It's been a fantastic story. You never say never in boxing. I think Zhilei Zhang said he can come back. Of course, a heavyweight, you can always come back. So if he does, he does. But what I saw in Adam Saudi was quite sad, and I'd like to see him move on to bigger and better things. He's given enough to boxing. He's given us everything, and I think it'll be a long time before we see someone like Deontay Wilder in the ring again. So exciting.
Definitely want to reiterate that and say he's been fantastic for the sport. It's been a pleasure for us to actually cover his fights, and he has left his mark on the sport. Adam Smith, I do want to thank you for your time as always. Massive congratulations once again to yourself, to the rest of the team, and upwards and onwards now. From now on, thank you very much for giving us your time.
No problem at all.